Thank you for having me. Thank you for the organization. I'm really happy to be here with all of you today. So, as it was introduced, let's try and answer this question. What is the future of apps? We've all been seeing a lot of things going on in the industry and with ChatGPT and Gemini and so on. And a lot of people are asking themselves the questions, what is the next level or the next generation app going to look like? So today I'm going to talking about a generation UI, which uses generation AI in order to build dynamic experiences. So, but first of all, if I have the control of my cursor here, let me just put the pointer. Yes, this is better. As was said, I'm Elaine. I'm a senior staff engineer at Sphere in Paris, France, where I work mostly with Android and Flutter projects. So a lot of mobile projects. I'm a GDE. I'm a Google developer expert for Flutter and Dart, but I'm also a former Google Assistant GDE, with the Google Home and everything. So what really interested me and still interests me to this day is the new ways that we can actually interact with technology, either with voice or chat-based apps and so on. So I think we'll be covering a little bit about this topic today as well. But before diving in, I want to tell you a quick story that happened to me. I was on vacation with family going to Spain. I was arriving by train to the Madrid Atocha train station. And as I said, I am a mobile developer. And as a mobile developer, one thing that I tend to do is that I love watching people use their phones and how they use apps. And today, a lot of people are actually using some kind of chat-based app. And the person that was just in front of me, he was using it. So this was what it looked like on the day. I was there picking. Of course, I think this illustration is maybe too creepy. I wasn't actually leaning that close to him, but I was interested because he was actually interacting with ChatGPT about his trip. And he had a bunch of text on his telephone. And I tried to do the interaction again, just so you see what kind of information that he had on his phone. Basically, what he wanted to do as he was arriving to the city is that he said, okay, what is the best way, he asked ChatGPT, what is the best way to go to hotel something? I just put some random hotel that is in Madrid. And ChatGPT was thinking a little bit, and then it got the answer. So either by taxi, bus, walking, and so on, with a bunch of information. And fast and easy, recommended behavior, good balance, if you're light and the weather is fine. And you see this so much information. And then I was just watching him go through, read everything carefully. Okay, so this, and he just wanted to go to his hotel, and it got me thinking. Why even using ChatGPT for this? There are so many awesome apps that already do this job so well, such as Google Maps, City Mapper, Move It, or any other transportation app in your city. But again, I was thinking, and for him, maybe he's an avid ChatGPT user, and he just does it like this now. And one thing that happens when you travel a lot is that sometimes Google Maps is not that how do you say, accurate on the itineraries or on the hours of the things. Some cities it works best, some cities it works not so good. City Mapper is not present in all of the cities. Move It is very, very common, I think, in South America as well. So each city has its best app, and you're just arriving to the city. So ChatGPT, maybe he's going to get all the information and show it to you. But the thing is, And you can actually see it. He took some information from movie apps, some from websites and other websites here. So really interesting. But as you can see, the UX is very poor. There's so much text, and you need to scan everything to make a decision to where to go. And the thing is, it is 2026, and as you can maybe see yourself in your daily lives, for you and for people around you, people are using more and more those kind of apps. So, as I was saying in the introductions, are regular apps even making sense anymore? Are they needed? So yeah, my personal opinion is that many or even the majority today of the use cases, as the one we just saw before, they are not well implemented at all on those apps because basically what you have is a bunch of text to read, and this is really poor a poor experience. But what is happening is also people are getting more used to this kind of interaction, like asking questions and prompting a system. And right now, we are still figuring out how we are going to make the best use of all of the new technologies and how we can adapt all of this to our business and our existing apps. And the thing is, again, this is what you're getting now. We're getting a bunch of text. Basically, I ask something, I get a bulk of text, and then I ask, oh, which one would you prefer? Faster, and I can give you step by step directions and so on. So even more text afterward. So yes, this is the reality. A wall of text that you need to read. Can't we do better? Yes, we can. There are two main solutions if you want to integrate some kind of rich experience inside of a chat-based app. Either you're going to integrate with an existing chat platform because there are existing solutions to do that. For example, with ChatGPT's Apps SDK that was announced in October, I think, of last year, which is really convenient for like the person that was I encountered on the train. People that are already using ChatGPT a lot, it would be really cool for them to use your service inside of ChatGPT. But what about all of your other users that are really loyal to your services that are not using ChatGPT? And as a business, you really need to be careful about the policies from the provider. So basically, you have to agree with the policies from ChatGPT, and of course, all of users' data will be going through ChatGPT's OpenAI servers. And of course, the second alternative will be to integrate a chat experience in your existing app, a really rich experience in your existing app. So this is best for your loyal users that already know your app, that already have your app. And what is really nice is that it allows new experiences that are much more personal to your user and to your users, and they're much more easy to use as well. So yes, in case you haven't guessed, this is what this talk is about. So GenUI. What is GenUI in terms of the Flutter ecosystem? Basically, it is a package. It is a Flutter package that you can get. You can go to pub.dev. This is a package that you can import. You can put on your PubSpec file, import it, and use it. You have all the information, have a bunch of documentation in order to integrate with it. And so yes, really easy to use. I'll be giving some links at the end so you can have more information. And you can also see, as I said, I'm a mobile specialist, but it's working on all the platforms that Flutter supports today. So Android, iOS, Linux, macOS, web, and Windows. So you can integrate it everywhere. And in order to explain in a little bit more detail, but not going into implementation details, I'm going to be giving you the rough idea of how this SDK works. So basically, you have your user here that it's giving a prompt. The first request will be a prompt. For example, plan a trip somewhere, plan a trip to Tokyo. So he's going to be putting this in an input field. Your app that is using the GenUI SDK will send the request to the GenUI SDK, the SDK is going to forward this request to an AI agent. For example, emphasis on for example, because this is not mandatory. You can use Gemini. It is easier to use Gemini because you'll be inside of the Google ecosystem, but you're not obliged to do so. But for example, you can use Gemini. And then the AI agent will generate back the content in relation to this request right here. Oh, and I forgot to say as well that when you do the request right here, your Flutter app will also define a list of widgets, a catalog of widgets that that can be used by the agent to build the response. So there are a lot of details that hook in order to hook everything up, but basically you have to give a list of widgets that can be used. So this you send the prompt and the widget catalog info, and then your AI agent will generate some content and a structured UI description, basically a JSON response. We'll send a JSON response back to the SDK that will process it as it needs, and then the GenUI SDK send back the rendered UI to the Flutter app, and then it displays to the user some button, slider, text, image, or whatever. So this is so you can see this is from the user all the way to the AI agent and back to the user again with the answer. And then the user can send a follow-up request because maybe in the response there was some buttons where he needed to click. So for example, he's going to tap a button and then there's a follow-up request that will be sent to the agent again. It will generate a new content based on this interaction. Will process everything, update the existing widgets, and then display all the way back to the user the updated UI. So this is the rough idea. Another way to look at it is through the main components. Here we have the user right here on the left and the insides of the GenUI framework on the right. I wanted to show this only so you can see some of the main components that are out there in this solution. So again, it starts with the user that's providing a prompt. Then it goes to the GenUI framework through the GenUI conversation object, which is basically the main object that orchestrates everything. So there's this send request a call that is made to the GenUI conversation object right here. It is this one sends this prompt to the content generator. And this is where our AI model lives. So either Gemini or any other content generator that you would like to use. And this one right here, it will return what is called an A2UI messages. I have a slide just after, a few slides after, that is explaining what A2UI is. Basically, this is a protocol also created by Google in order to manage those dynamic UI optimized to be used by, to be created by agents, basically. So agent to UI, basically message. So we send a prompt, plan a trip to Tokyo to the content generator, and then this here, it implements the A2UI protocol in order to create A2UI messages and then send to the processor. And here, the processor, what will do is that it will basically, in relation to, depending on the widgets that were updated or that were created, because here on the content generator as well, you have all of the widget catalog that was sent. And then, okay, so for this, I need on the insides of the app, that was it was saying, okay, for this case I need to show a card, for example. So it would send a A2UI message, a card back here, and then this processor will notify the GenUI surface with the widgets that is created or updated. And then the GenUI surface actually renders back the UI to the user. And here you can see that we have this arrow going here from the system to back to the user, but then the users again can click on a button or something like this, so he can interact back with the system. So he creates a new event, and then we can look back to the system and then go back, send a prompt, generating a new HUI message, figuring out what widget, update, notifying the system, and rendering the new UI basically. So this was kind of complicated. I think it's much better to see an actual demo. Ah, okay, I need to do something, sorry. This, yes, and then this. I'll just do that. I don't think you, I have, I'm really sorry. I think I have shared the wrong thing. Sorry about that. I need to share the whole screen. Yes, really sorry. Share again. Okay. Um, Here you can see, as I said, one thing that you send to the system, it's this an example app that you can find on the Flutter samples for GenUI repository on GitHub. This, for example, this is what I told you. In your Flutter app, you say, okay, this is the collection of widgets that I'm going to be giving to the system in order for the system to use it to give me back an answer that is going to be using this, okay? And just so you have an idea as well, this is when you are first prompting the system, this is what a prompt would maybe look like. So this is like a travel planner. So you are helpful assistant, that does this and that. Conversations, follow a rough flow, because sometimes it's not a linear, you know, you can do something first and then another thing. So a bunch of instructions right here, you can take a look. And it also says what kind of format is expected to be given back to the systems. Okay, yes, you should give me something that looks like this, you know. And my app has compiled. Let's see it right here. I'll make it a little bit bigger. Really simple app. Don't limit yourselves thinking that the UI will be exactly like this. The UI will be as much polished as your own UI is, because you are the one giving the widgets to the system. So the widgets that are going to see today are actually the widgets from the app. So this is not an AI or Gemini or something limitation. This is your app that is on control basically. So I did some experimentations before with several cities, but each time I did one city. And since this event is being co-hosted by two cities, I will try and plan a trip to both cities from Paris, from where I live. So I never did it before. If it doesn't work, let's just blame it on me from not preparing better, because I just did one city, and now today let's do with two cities. So plan a 5-day trip from Paris to each. I think it's kind of small, but I think you can see I'm writing below here on the chat, on the input here, from Paris to Mons, Belgium, because I know there are other Mons. Then Brussels. Let's see, just this. Oh yes, and I don't think you can see, but we can actually, as it is loading, because we actually send the request. Let's just take a look real quick to, basically it's JSON stuff being sent, forwarded back, and we send all of the widgets through, and this is what the protocol looks like. Okay, so here we have Paris, Mons, Brussels, 5 days for two people. And it had guessed some tags, it doesn't matter, but here you can see what it looks like. And if I click, oh, generate itinerary, okay. It didn't, and each experience is different, because it said, okay, do you really want me to generate itinerary? In general, it does it on the first step, but it didn't this time. This is the beauty of using AI agents, I guess. Each time it's different, and it is loading. Let's see if we get something interesting. Yes, because he wanted me to confirm, the number of guests, the budget. Oh, okay, yes, the budget, mid-range, and the interest. So I just put it as it was. So culture, history of food, and it is processing. As you can see right here, building. Okay, so it's done, I think. Yes, so here it is. Let's say if this makes sense. So the first of all, okay, arrival in Paris. Okay, it's fine. And then Paris to Mons, Mons to Brussels, Brussels cities. In Mons, it told me to visit the historic town hall and the famous Lucky Monkey statue. I've been there, so I know what they're talking about. There's a famous monkey on the main city square, so really cool. And then take the train to Brussels for the experience the best of Belgian culture, art, and food. Grand Place in Brussels, and then the last day in Brussels, going to the Royal Museums of Fine Arts because it was on our interests, culture. So it's cool, and you can see right here I have buttons. So I sent back an input to choose. I think it was the train from Paris to Mons, something like this. So you can see it is processing again. So basically, for each input, I'm changing the experience, and I'm going to be giving back again this kind of widgets because oh yes, it was. I didn't look, but it was about my stay in Paris because it put one night in Paris. So this is mocked data, Dart Inn or Flutter Hotel for this, and then I picked this one. And you were seeing all the widgets that we see right here. They are actually coming. I showed you the list before, but this is what they look like, and this is what we are giving to the AI agents. All the list of all the widgets. Again, your apps is as beautiful as the widgets that you're going to provide. So work on your widgets. And so yeah, so again, it wanted to finalize. It figured, okay, she picked the hotel, so now she needs to pay for the hotel. I need to do this, and so on. So you can see it is evolving as I am interacting with the system. So I hope this was clear, how the system works. Basically, what I think is really nice is that you really get the best of the both worlds. We have like a chat-based experience where I can do things whatever I want, and the customizations of your own application with your own widgets, which is so nice. Again, as I was saying before, the protocol that is used behind the scene, it's called the A2UI protocol, which is basically messages being sent back and forth from the app through the GenUI SDK to all the way to the agent. And this is working, of course, the part that is working for Flutter is the implementation for Flutter, but this is platform agnostic. This can be used for React, for Angular, for whatever. And as I said, the agent doesn't need to be the Gemini agent. It can be another agent as well. So for the content generator, the part that is actually going to generate the content, you can either use the Gemini API for the samples that you want to run locally. You can do with the Gemini API. So yes, for local testing. But if you want to put it into production and use Gemini, you can use Firebase AI Logic that will that will keep your API keys safe. And if you want, you can actually build your own server that is complying, that is implementing the A2UI protocol. So you can do it yourself. And you can even use, as I was saying, you can even use whatever LLM provider that you want to. So it's very open. Some useful links as promised, a lot of documentations. There are some YouTube videos where I can go deeper on the implementation details, the package, the HUI website that is showing this protocol implementation, a blog post also showing how the GenUI SDK works, and finally the GitHub repo containing the GenUI samples. And that's it for me. Thank you so much for listening. And I'll just see if I have any questions. Share which platform you use for building the agent. It was the agent is Gemini. It is Gemini for this example is using Gemini. And if there are no other questions, just invite everyone that wants to keep in touch, ask for the questions. I will be publishing the slides into a post that I'll be giving that I'll be publishing tomorrow. And don't hesitate to connect with me there. Thank you.